We are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. With us this morning is Barbara McGinnis. You see up there, elder law questions, power of attorney, wills, planning for the future, all of that. If you'd like to join us, 737-7587. On a rainy day like this, you may just want to sit back and listen because I've got plenty of questions for her. You know, you and Tim had your own show on this program, which I guess, you know, you videoed your final episode. Now you're just going to come on the big show here now.
Yeah.
But that was a great show. And the last one, you said you had an emergency room physician on.
We did. Our last episode, which we taped last week, I think might air this Friday.
Okay.
But it was
It does.
it was kind of like a year in a review thing, and one of their particular favorite episodes that had an emergency room physician. It was Dr. Labanani, and he was from North Crest in Springfield. And he was talking about the use of advanced directives in the emergency room. So when people come into the emergency room, how does that advanced directive all factor in? And of course, the very first thing they do, the very first thing we would want them to do is to stabilize us, right? To look at, make sure that we're viable if we're right. So they don't start by looking at the advanced directive.
How will they even know if there is one? How do they even know if there's an
after they get the person stabilized, then they start looking to say, well, did somebody come in with them? Do they have something on their person that would make them?
Are there advanced directive bracelets? I don't even know. Like you would have for like analogy to penicillin.
Right.
But I mean, and let's just say an advanced directive could be some kind of instruction that you as an individual have for your physician. And what type of instruction would you have?
So an advanced directive is sort of an umbrella term for several different types of documents. You may have a healthcare power of attorney. That gives someone else authority to make medical decisions for you if you could not speak for yourself. Hopefully you've had conversations with that person and told them what kind of decisions you want them to make. It could be an advanced care plan that has like a living will, that has, I want this, I don't want that, you know, do this, try to keep me comfortable, don't resuscitate me, do everything possible. It gives some sort of instruction to providers. There's other documents for people that actually live in facilities, post forms that are physician orders for treatment. But that advanced directive may just indicate that if I show up in the ER and I can't speak for myself, you know, call this person to get instructions. You may have, there's ways you can keep those documents on your smartphone. You might reduce them and keep them in your wallet. My mom and dad always carried theirs in their wallet.
So would the doctors know to look there if they were brought in? Let's say they were in an auto wreck and you weren't there to say something like this, and then, so doctors do that now. They'll say, okay, we've got them stabilized. All right, we need to find out more about them. Well, there's her purse. What the heck's in there? Or I really think that, you know, if it's possible, the EMTs are probably even looking in the glove box of your car to see if there's anything there. Because a lot of people are thoughtful enough to keep that close to them. Do you have an advanced directive?
I
don't want to get too personal here, but do you have one? I was thinking I should get one.
Absolutely.
So is yours like for like power of attorney if like you were unconscious?
I have a durable general power of attorney that names my husband and names his successor.
So you trust him?
And I have an advanced directive, so a healthcare power of attorney that names him and my daughter to be decision makers. And actually, this is another thing I just now thought of. I rarely will draft, unless somebody really feels strongly about this, co-agents. Like, it's not my husband and my daughter, it's my husband first, and then if he couldn't do it, my daughter. So I'm not saying you have to use your spouse and your children. You can name anyone that you trust to make a good decision maker for you. It might be a sibling, it might be a parent, maybe it is of a spouse and children.
But we had a caller who couldn't stay on the line, but asked along those lines, that's why I'm just interrupting, when someone's choosing who gets the power of attorney, the question is sometimes, and you mentioned this earlier when we talked about wills, is there a possibility that that person, when they're making that choice, psychologically isn't in the right place and could choose the wrong person? And do they ever do a psychological evaluation to say, now wait a second, I mean, what if she said, oh, I'm going to choose such and such down the road, you know, that you don't, and all of a sudden family members are like, what is she thinking here? I mean, can that be challenged? If she's giving all control of power of attorney to maybe someone because
that
psychologically.
That is not trustworthy.
Yeah, right, not trustworthy. That's what I was looking for.
that can happen if the person, maybe the person is impaired. Actually, what I worry about and feel like I have seen happen is people that we call unsupported elders, folks that do not have a lot of close relationships in their life. There's no long, the spouse is predeceased. Of course, parents have long passed away. Maybe they don't have siblings, like I don't have siblings, but
no children.
But maybe they don't have children even.
Yeah.
And then they're relying on friends or neighbors. And those people might have at first a well-meaning intention to be helpful to this older person, but then their needs exceed what the friend or neighbor is willing to provide, and so you do wind up with some. And so that is a definite need. It is for professional fiduciaries.
Right.
It's a definite need, not only in our community but nationwide, because there is this growing population of unsupported elders.
What's so interesting is, and this is one thing I've come to really respect about what you guys do. Tim used to talk about it, and you have too. You guys are there looking out for the person that you're trying to get the services for. Now, it might be getting set up by other people. Tim's told me about cases where he could clearly tell that someone involved here's intentions were not pure toward the individual who.
Yeah.
And Tim stood up to him, I mean, yeah, they're there, and maybe they're the ones that came to him, but he could just tell they were out basically to get Dad's money. And you sense that, and I don't know, that's a line you guys have to walk, but your primary goal is to protect the vulnerable in these situations.
In our practice, it's a philosophy, and it's just the standard operating procedure that the vulnerable elder is our client. They're the person that we're always working for. We may work with or through their legal agent, their power of attorney, but we're always working for the goal of protecting the elder, and their safety and well-being is number one. We are an elder-centered practice, so that's part of why we have care coordinators on staff that can be closer. It's part of why we have our representation is designed over time so that we can to formulate relationships and monitor how things are being administered. Obviously, we can't make people stay a client if they choose to not continue the relationship, but if we get those
but if you see it's bad, then you're not going to help them take advantage of someone. That's for sure. And that means they walk out the door, so be it. Right?
Absolutely.
Listen, let's take a break on that note. When we come back, we had that caller that couldn't stay on, but I think you just answered her question. The lines are open, 737-7587. Back with more with Barbara McGinnis right after this.